All right, we're going to look at some more pattern editing functions. So here's the pattern I created 2 videos ago, and I like it. Now I want to continue it. So I'm going to set this to be 32 steps. I want to make it a 2-bar pattern. And there we see the next 16 steps are blank. And I'm going to drag this out so we can hear it and see it and work with it here as well. So I can right click and I can choose duplicate, and that'll copy this first part of the event pattern onto the second part. I can copy selected notes. I can clear the pattern. I can change the resolution to play at double speed or half speed. But for now, I'm going to click duplicate. And now I've got 2 bars of the same pattern. So let's alter it and edit it a bit. I'm going to hit Shift to drag that one out. Get rid of that note. Get rid of that. Maybe I'll make that a D. And I'll bring that back and Shift click to make that longer. Let's make a space there. And let's bring this one and change it to a D. So let's hear what this sounds like. So there I have a 2-bar pattern. Now I like that, and each of these patterns can have multiple variations. So let's say I like that, but I want to try some alternate ideas, but I don't want to lose that one. Well, here we're working in variation 1 because that's all that exists. But if I open the inspector button here, we'll see that we have some additional features. So we can audition notes when we click on them. That's enabled by default, and editor follows cursor. We can turn on or off. But here we get a list of variations. So here I can add a variation, and here I can remove a variation. But this is what interests me. I can duplicate the variation, and now I have a duplicate of it, variation 2, which of course I can rename. And I can now edit this one and vary a little bit. So let's do that. Here I'm working on the second variation. We see it identified up here. Maybe I'll make that one longer. I'm holding down Shift, and let's get rid of that and put a note up here. Get rid of that, and maybe repeat this one twice. And then here I'm going to hold down the Command key and create an F there, and hold Shift, shorten that one, and then maybe put a C in there, and then maybe a D in there. Let's see what that sounds like. Well, that's a nice variation. I think I want to try another one. So again, I'm going to duplicate this and create a third variation. And now we see we're on the third one. And I can maybe make something a little busier. It's really a lot of fun to do. Let's go up chromatically. We'll leave a space there, and let's just hear that. So great, I got 3 variations of this idea. Now I can store this. I'm going to click the Store button, and I can give it a name, and I can describe it. And I can even create a subfolder to put it in, but for now I'm just going to leave it like that. And now when I go to the Load menu, it's going to appear there. There's some other ones that I'd created in the past, but here's this pattern, and I can load it in. And there I just clicked on it, and it loaded it, but it's got all the variations. It loaded the first one by default, but there are the 3 different variations. And I varied just the first part of it, just for demonstration purposes, but of course you can vary any part of it you want. So now I've got this 2-bar pattern. I'm going to Option click and drag this here to just repeat it a few times. And I can maybe use different variations. I'll use the second variation for that one, and maybe the third one for that, and the first one for this one. So they'll all be slightly different. As I click on them, you'll see the variations update, and you'll see the variation name reflected in the name. And we can use these arrows to step through the next and previous patterns that are on the same track. So let's listen to these 3 variations back to back. And if you've got the musical editor hidden, you can always click here to switch between the variations directly in Arrange view. Next video, we're going to dig in and look at drum editing in this pattern editor.